If you're tired of writing sales by hand, losing track of your stock, or always struggling to balance payments and debts, then this video is for you. I am going to show you a simple but powerful inventory management system that I built myself. It is designed for both the retailers and the wholesalers, and it does almost everything for you automatically. And the good part of this app is that it's an offline application, meaning there is no internet needed. From creating invoices, recording sales, tracking stock, and updating payments to the management of customers' debts, this system handles it all in one place. So no more guesswork, no more endless calculations, and no more confusion about what is in or out of your store. Everything updates itself as you work. In this video, I will walk you through how the app works, from the invoices, stock, items, debts, and even payments. So stay with me till the end, because once you see how this app runs your business automatically, you will never want to go back to taking your records manually.
So let's start with the Wholesalers app. Some places that you have to access in the app depends on the particular person logging in, either as a boss, a staff, or an admin. A boss can also be an admin. So we are going to see all that later in the video. So let's log in first as a staff. So when you open the app, the first place it will take you to is the invoice page. Then from this invoice page, you can navigate to the home page, to the customer page, to the item page, and to the payment invoice page. So let's start with the home page. Here we show you the total quantity of the items you have in your location 1, which I named office in this app. So this is location 2, which is warehouse 1, and then this one is warehouse 2. So if you have one location that you're working with, or 3 different locations that you are working with, you can make use of this app. So from 1 location to 3 locations. If you have more than 3 locations, then the app can be customized or designed according to the number of locations that you have. So here we show you your total debt. Then here are the top 10 customers at this place. Then from here we can see the invoice page where we are coming from, and this is the payment invoice page. We are still coming to this page. Here is the debt update. When you click on debt update, it's not going to open up because this is a fresh app. There is no sales, nobody is owing us yet. Then here is the customer page. It will take you to where you can input your customers' names. Then let's go back to the home page. Here we have the stock page. I'm still going to tell you how this page operates, and then the item page. I will also explain how this works, and then the boss and admin page. The boss and admin page cannot open because we logged in as a worker or a staff. So he or she cannot access these 2 pages unless we give he or she the password and the login details. Then the format app, this will format the app, then leaving behind only those that are owing you, like the customers we still have transaction with, open invoices and all that. So this is what these icons represent. So let's start with the item page, because this is the first page and the first place you are meant to visit and start inputting your records when you open this app. So when you click on the items page, you can see everything is still empty. We have this product's name, the brand, everything, the selling price, but we don't have any of them in any of this location. So when you open this app, the first place you are going to come to is to this product page, and then input your products. Type in your products when you come to this page. For example, if you want to type the next product, you can click on next item. It will take you to the last row. Click on it and input your product. I'll still explain to you what this buttons does. So, but first of all, input your items and then go to the invoice page. And on the invoice page, we have different invoices on this page. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 invoices. So the first invoice is the sales invoice, which we can see. Next is the new arrival invoice. This is the transfer invoice. This is the pre-order invoice, and this is the pre-arrival invoice. So firstly, we are going to write a new arrival invoice in order to input items to our records, because on the items page, our locations, there is nothing in the location. So let's start by writing the invoice. Then on this plus icon here, so when you click on that icons, it will take you to the suppliers page where you can input the names of your suppliers. So later on, you can delete this and input the correct names and address and phone numbers of your different suppliers. And each time you want to write invoice, you just select their name. If you have their name already, there is no need clicking on this button. So that plus button is for it to take you to a page where you are going to input the names of your suppliers. And let's input our records in this app. So when you select, the first thing you are going to do is to save invoice. So anytime you're writing an invoice, you select the name. Next is to save. If you don't save and you go ahead to write your invoice, you are going to get a notification. Please make sure to save the invoice before adding an item. Why we are saving invoice to before adding an item is for us to create an allocation for this particular invoice. Should in case we have another invoice to attend to or another customer to attend to, we can easily switch to other invoices. Then later on, we can search for this particular invoice, upload it back and continue from where we stop. So that is why it is very necessary to save invoice first, to create an allocation for that particular invoice before writing our invoice. This is the invoice number, this is the date, and this is the quantity of cartons that we are buying or transferring or selling. Then this icon here deals with the pages. We are on page 1 right now. So if you are writing an invoice and at a point these spaces that we have here isn't enough for you to write your invoice, you can select on page 2. The same thing, if this page fills up, you can select on page 3. You keep on doing that till the last one we have here is page 4, till when all these spaces are being filled up. And when you have filled up all these rows and still your customer or your supplier supplied a lot of goods that these invoices got filled, you can now save this one and create another new invoice with another invoice number for the supplier or for the client. So let's stick with page 1. Then how what items are we inputting? Let's say product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4. I have a hidden rules here. So if you're writing in this invoice and for example your invoice is like this, please remember that we have hidden rules underneath this place so that you will not miss them. So you can use the arrow button to navigate through them. So this carton, for example, came in 20 cartons, this one is 50 cartons, this one is 90 cartons, this is 100 cartons, this is 50 cartons, this is 40 cartons. And after writing this invoice, and you need to save this invoice before writing and after writing. So the first saving is to create a location or to allocate a space for the invoice. And after inputting everything you are doing on this invoice, remember to save, to update the records on this invoice. So but when you click on this, I'm going to tell you please select the location where the items were transferred or supplied from before saving. And when you click on it, it's going to highlight the particular place where it meant. So you're going to select, it's a must that you need to select where these items were supplied to when either in the office, your warehouse 1 or your warehouse 2. So this space is very compulsory. This place is very compulsory if you're writing this invoice. Then for the cost price, you can leave this vacant unless if you want your workers to have access to this place, then it can be customized for you. But the most important thing when writing a new arrival invoice or pre-arrival invoice is the items and the quantity that you are inputting in your records. So when we are done selecting where we transferred or supplied these items to, we click on. Please remember to select the location where. Is there any other one I've not selected? Okay, I've not selected this one. Then you click on save, and when you save, this color will go back to the normal color. And Now that we've input these records, let's go to our items. Right now we can see that we have office, warehouse one, warehouse two, the item that we input and the different locations that the items were being supplied to. So when you come to your stock, this stock page deals with date. So here we can see here is October 14, and October 14 everywhere is empty, no transaction, because I'm not making this video on the October 14. I'm making this video on the October 15, and when I select October 15, I can see my opening stock. I opened with nothing because the app was empty. Then new arrival, the quantity of item that came in, no sales order yet, no transfer in. Transfer in is like when you are transferring from one warehouse to another. So the only transaction that has happened on this office, that is our location one, this particular day on the 15th, is just this new arrival invoice that we wrote, and it's reflecting here and telling us the total quantity. So this page is just like dealing with all the activities that happen on a daily basis. So the same thing, activities that happen on warehouse one, your opening stock, your closing stock, the same thing with warehouse two, and this is the overall for the three different locations. So the next day now, for example, if I should select 16th, our closing stock will be our opening stock for the next day. When I click on 16, you can see that the closing stock of the previous day is now the opening stock of the next day, and we are not going to see anything here because this is the next day. On the next day, anything that we input here will start reflecting, or any activity that happens on the next day will start reflecting on these places. So this is basically how the stock page works. It's a general overview of everything you've done for the day depending on the date that you selected. Let's go back to the invoice and then select another invoice. We can now make a sales invoice because we have some items in our office. You cannot, if you did not write your new arrival invoice, you cannot write your sales invoice because we are selling from what we have already. So let's just say customer 2 is buying an item, and then we'll save to create an allocation for the invoice. And when we save, the customer bought what item? Product 1, product 4, and product 2. And how many cartons did he buy? He bought 4 cartons for this, he bought 6 cartons for this. And then this spaces here by the right is going to give you a quick view of what is happening on the item page. It will tell you that this particular item that the customer is buying, we have this quantity in the office, we have this quantity in the warehouse one, and we have this quantity in the warehouse two. So from here now we can notice that this particular product 4 and product 2 are not in these two different locations. We only have them in our offices. So this will give you a guide, or it will help you to know where to select from, like where this particular product is being sold from. It's going to give you a quick guide to know where to select. So if, for example, you forgot to take a look at this place and you select warehouse one, it's going to give you a notification that you cannot sell this carton quantity that you entered from warehouse one because we don't have it in warehouse one. And when you click OK, it's going to clear everything. So make sure it's either you follow this guide or you check your item to make sure that you have the items in stock before writing the invoice. But here is the fastest way that you can follow up when writing your invoices. So the customer bought 4 cartons of this particular item and it was sold from the office, and this was sold also from the office. So, and as you are selecting where it was sold from, it will be deducting automatically for you so that you know the quantity that is remaining after selling this particular quantity of these items. And this stamp here works in such a way that if a customer paid for this particular invoice and he paid in full, we are going to select paid. But if the customer made a partial payment, you are going to go to the payment invoice and write the payment invoice for the customer. You can only select this paid if the customer paid in full. He paid for everything that he bought. So when you select paid, you can stamp the invoice for the customer and then print or save as a PDF. So when you select paid and you are done writing these invoices, please remember to click on save. Remember to click on save. If you did not click on save, all these that you've updated here will not be updated in your record. So remember to save after writing your invoice. And now the next icon here is print. So we have the HP printer, like printing with the printer that you have in your office. When you click on it, it will connect automatically on the printer that you have in your office. Then this save as PDF is if you want to save as a PDF to send to your client, maybe on WhatsApp or any other social media, or maybe email address. Then this print preview is just to quickly see how the invoice will look like before sending to your client. So when let's select print, let's select this save as PDF. So when we click save as PDF, automatically it will be saved in our document, the document in your system. So let me show you how it works. Window E, documents. So this is the invoice that we just saved right now. So it will save with the customer's name, the type of invoice that you write, and the date that you wrote the invoice. So the customer's name, type of invoice, and the date. So when you open it up, it is going to show you how this invoice will look like when you send to your customer. So the next invoice is transfer invoice. Transfer invoice is to transfer from one location to another, and this deals with maybe your staff or yourself or any other person. So anyone that is doing the transfer or regularly goes to the different locations or the warehouses to make transfer, you can input the person's name at this page. So this is your staff list where you can put your workers name or the names of people that their duty is to transfer items from one location to the another. So this is the work of this plus button on the invoice, on the transfer invoice. Then on this invoice, let's just select, say, for example, staff 3, then save this invoice. The staff 3 transfer this particular product. You also transfer this product. How many cartons? So this is the carton quantity that we have in the office, we have in the warehouse one. So he transferred, let's just say 10 cartons of this item. This is 20 cartons, and where did he transfer from? So we have it already in the office. He's transferring maybe from office to either warehouse 1 or warehouse 2. So let's select, as you are selecting office, this will automatically deduct. So we've transferred 10 cartons from this office, and where are we transferring to? We are transferring it to, let's just choose warehouse 1, and it will reflect here. So these 10 cartons has reflected here. And where are we transferring this one? We are transferring from warehouse 1 because it is in warehouse 1. We are transferring from warehouse 1 to maybe, let's say, office. And after writing this invoice, you just save and everything will update automatically. And this icon here is the refresh icon. This refresh icon is maybe after writing an invoice and you don't have any other invoice to write, you can just refresh this page and this will go back to a fresh invoice waiting for you to write your next invoice. So let's write another invoice, which is pre-order invoice. So this pre-order invoice can be given to your customer or your client when he or she made a pre-order, but he, like, you know what a pre-order means, the client has not actually bought the goods from you. So this invoice is a pre-order invoice for the customer to take a view. It's like a preview of the invoice, of the actual sales invoice that you want to write for the customer. So you can give this customer, for example, customer 3 needs a pre-order invoice, and then he or she wants to buy these particular items. How many cartons? He wants to buy these 10 cartons. He wants to buy these 5 cartons. He wants to buy these 2 cartons. So you can now send as a PDF to your client for him to take a view of the items that he's meant to buy. Then anytime he's ready, then save when you are done writing the invoice. Then anytime he's ready to purchase the goods or to make payment or to carry the items, you can now copy it to sales invoice. When you click on copy, you're going to see the sales order and the new arrival. But if it's a pre-order invoice, make sure you are copying to sales invoice. You can only copy to new arrival if you are writing a pre-arrival invoice. I am still going to show you how that one works. So pre-order invoice, make sure make sure that you are transferring or you are copying to, make sure that you are copying to sales order. So before I click that sales order, let me quickly explain here. You can see that you don't have any place to select where the items is being sold from. Here is hidden. If you click here, you can notice that this drop down is here, but don't select anything. That is why it is not visible. Don't select because this is a pre-order invoice. So you can just save this invoice. It's not a must that you are copying immediately. You can just save and send this as a PDF to your client, and then continue with writing your other invoices till when the customer is ready to buy that particular item. So this pre-arrival is still the same thing like pre-order invoice. This one works in such a way that maybe you're expecting some goods to arrive, and instead of writing the invoice immediately as the goods arrive, because you might be so occupied to start writing an invoice immediately, so you can just prepare yourself, write pre-arrival invoice. Let's refresh. Then this icon here is to search an ID. That is your old, this is invoice number. The next invoice we are writing is invoice number 6. That is, we've written 5 invoices already. For example, we want to upload our invoice number 1, which is the new arrival invoice. You can just click here and type on the invoice and type invoice number 1 for it to upload. So you notice something. If you want to upload this invoice number 1, it will tell you please enter a pre-arrival ID. So we are on pre-arrival invoice, and the invoice number that I inputted here was not a pre-arrival invoice, it was a new arrival invoice. That is why this I'm getting this notification that I should please enter a pre-arrival invoice, that I am on pre-arrival invoice. So let's just say you've forgotten the IDs of the invoices, because you can write thousands of invoices and you forget the IDs. Just click can't remember ID, click here, and when you click here, you will see the activities, the invoices so far that you've written. This is what the page does. Then here you can quickly say, okay, this is invoice number 1, and invoice number 1 is new arrival. This is invoice number 2. You can easily see the order ID, and from here you can go back to the invoice and select. So let's go to new arrival invoice. New arrival invoice, we want to upload this particular invoice. When we click on one, it will populate the invoices. Then from here you can make corrections if needed. That is the essence of this search. It will search and upload old invoice in case if there's any correction or any error that you need to correct. So that's how it works. So from this place you can see the old invoices that you've written. And if you want to search, let's say we have a lot of items there you want to search, you can just quickly type the customer's name, and as you are typing the customer's name, you can easily see the customer and the IDs of the different invoices of that particular customer. Then from there you can now easily see what you are looking for. So let's write another invoice. Sales invoice. Customer 5 bought an item. He bought this particular product, and he bought 5 cartons of it. But okay, and it was sold from office, but the customer did not pay. So since he did not pay, let's just save the invoice and then go ahead with other invoices, because he or she might want to pay later on. Then when you check here, you notice that this customer 5 has this invoice, and this particular invoice is still unpaid because the client has not paid. So this payment status will show you whether this particular invoice has been paid or not, or whether it is still open. An invoice can be open when the customer made a part payment. So let's go to the payment invoice in case that particular customer want to make a payment. So what customer is that? This is customer 5. So when we come to this payment invoice and we search customer 1, customer 2, we are not going to see anything because customer 2 is not owing us. Customer 1, we are not going to see anything. Customer 4, we are not going to see anything. Then customer 5 is going to say yes, customer 5 is owing us 810,000 naira. So customer 5 wants to make this payment through transfer. So when you click on apply, it automatically apply the balance that the customer 5 is owing us. So it is either you type in the maybe the customer is making a part payment, is not paying in full, then you type the exact amount that the customer is paying. Let's say the customer want to pay 800,000 naira, and then you type 800,000, and maybe for example as you are typing this 800,000 naira and you mistakenly wrote type 8 million naira, it's going to tell that you cannot, that this value that you entered cannot be greater than the balance. So the customer is owing us 810,000 naira, and he or she wants to pay 800,000 naira, but what we inputted here is more than 800,000 naira, so it cannot work. When you click on OK, it's going to clear off that. Then you type the correct amount, which is 800,000. And after inputting the amount that the customer paid here, make sure you also put it on this invoice. If you did not put it here, it's not going to save. So make sure that the amount that you are inputting here equals the amount that is here. How much are we inputting? 800,000, and for example you did not put the correct and you go ahead to save, it's going to tell you please make sure that the payment amount is equal to the applied amount. So you're going to make sure that this amount here is equal to this amount here before saving. So let's input the correct amount. We have our 800,000, then save. Right now the customer has paid a part payment for this invoice. So when you refresh this page and select customer 5 again, it's going to tell you that this is the invoice number, this is the initial amount that he was owing, this is the previous payment, and this is his balance. So when next time he's making a next payment, he's going to pay 10,000 naira. And when you can't remember the payment ID, just like invoice ID, when you click on this page, it's going to show you the whole transaction, the payment transaction. Then from here you can remember the particular payment ID for that customer, and then search if you want to see the previous payments for that particular customer. So right now let's click on this debt update. If you can remember from the beginning, when we click on the debt update, we couldn't open it up because no one was owing us. So right now it can open up because we have a customer that is still owing us 10,000 naira. So this is how it works. So when you come to this home page too and you click on debt, it will take you to this place. This particular customer is owing us 10,000. If another customer is owing us, you are going to see their names here, the total they are owing, and also the subtotal that the whole customers are owing you on top of this page. So let's go back to the home page. On the home page you can see we have our office, the quantity of items that we have in the office here. This is the warehouse 1, this is the warehouse 2, and this is the total amount that your customers are owing you. Then when on this top 10, when you refresh, you can see we only have 2 customers that have bought from us, and for now customer 2 is our top customer. So this is how it was, and when we go to the items page, you see the whole transaction that is going on. So what this button does, here you can quickly search for an item. For example, item 6, it will show you the quantity in carton, selling price, how many in the office, how many. Then here to show you the whole items that you have. This will show you the items that are finished. So these particular items, we don't have it in stock. So in case if you want to purchase new items, when you click on finish item, it will show you the items that you don't have in stock again, so that you can quickly see them and then purchase them if you need to. And this will show you the whole items that you have, both the ones that are finished and the ones that are not finished, the one that you still have in stock. And this office quantity here will also show you the amount, the items that you have in the office, the items that are still remaining in your office. The ones that are finished will not reflect here. When you want to see the items that are finished in your office, when you click here, you see the items that are finished in your office, so that you can maybe easily transfer from one location, maybe from your warehouse 1 to your office, or warehouse 2 to your office. So this is what this does. The same thing goes to this button, customer list, will show you the list of items you have, in case if you want to give your customers the list of the printout or the PDF of the list of products that you have, so that they can easily select what products that they want to buy from you. And if you want to print, when you click on print customers list, it will take you to a new page where you can easily print this for the customer. So this is the boss list. The boss list will basically show us a quick view in case if you want to print and send to your boss, if the boss is not the one taking the record, but he also wants to see a quick view of what is going on, maybe the item that he still has in stock, this boss list will just quickly show the boss, this is the items you have, this is the amount that is remaining, and all that. If you want to print, you can also click and print. For the print price list, if you want to print price list for your clients, maybe you just want to print and tell the customer these are the items we have, and these are the prices of the items that we have, so that the customer can quickly make a decision. Okay, I want this, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. So this is just like basically the price list of the items that you have in stock. And for this fiscal counting, when you click on print fiscal counting will help you to make sure that the records that you have in your system tallies with the one you have physically, because you can be taking your records on your system but physically maybe your items are missing. So make sure that maybe on a weekly basis you choose a day in a week and do your fiscal counting to make sure that what you have physically is still the same thing with what your record is telling you. Then when you click on print on fiscal count, it's going to take you to this page. On this page, you can now quickly customize if you want. You can now quickly customize if you want. And these columns that are here are just like how many columns or shelf or counter, anything that you can call it, and how many counters that you have in your office. If you have 5 counters, you can just work with this. If you have more than 31 counters or shelf in your office, you can just right click and insert and add more. So this is basically a page that will help you to print and use in counting your records physically. So what this shows you is the quantity of this particular product that is remaining. So this product 1, we have 20 pieces remaining. Product 2, we have 29 pieces. Let's just say while counting our goods, on counter 1 or shelf 1 we saw this product 2 cartons there, on counter 2 we saw this product 5 cartons there, on counter 6 we saw this particular product 1 carton here. Then after selecting and counting and inputting where you saw this each product on each counter, then you add this up, you sum this up. This must tally with this. If the total amount that you got here is less than this, then just know that your item is missing in your location. If it's more than this, just know there is an error in your records, then try to figure it out and know where the miscalculation is coming from. When we go back to this place now, you can see that this invoice is now open. It is open because the customer has not finished up his payment. When the customer pays up this 10,000, let's go to payment invoice and finish up the payment. Customer 5 later on paid this 10,000 naira, and now that the customer has paid this 10,000 naira and we save, so when we come back, when we click on this debt update, nothing will happen because the customer has cleared his debt, so he's no longer owing us. And then we come back to the invoice page and you click here, you can notice that the invoice has now turned to paid because the customer has already paid up. New payment invoice. This save is to save the payment invoice. This is to delete. This is to print as PDF. This is to show you the previous invoice that we have. The previous payment invoice that you wrote is this for customer 5. Then the next one, another one that we wrote is the first payment for customer 5. So when you click on previous again, this you on your first payment. This is your first payment because this is payment invoice 1. The payment ID is 1. So this is how this preview and next work. Instead of going here to search, you can just easily go through your previous payment if that is what you want to see. And then from here, you can easily select if you know the customer ID, let's say customer 5, it will populate the customer's information here depending on the ID. So let's go to invoice. Let me quickly explain something. So this search button here is for IDs because some customers can have the same name. A particular name can be answered by 5 different customers. For example, John. So we can have 5 Johns as our customers. So they are not meant to have the same ID. Select the ID from here and this will quickly populate the customer's name. So it's either you search with the customer's ID or you select the customer's name from this place. And if you want to delete a particular invoice, for example, this transfer invoice, we want to delete it, invoice number 3. When you go to invoice page, select the transfer invoice first and then upload that particular invoice, invoice number 3. When the invoice has uploaded, you can now delete. It will ask you, are you sure you want to delete this invoice? You say okay. When you click okay, it will automatically delete this invoice. So when you go to your invoice, this overview, you will notice that our invoice number 3 has been deleted. So let's log in as an admin. So when we log in as an admin, you'll notice that we can now have access to the boss page, and you can also have access to the admin page. Then on the admin page, basically you are the one allocating passwords to the workers, and you have access to the whole pages. The boss can also be an admin. An admin have access to all the pages. This is the admin and this is the password. So this is the password that we logged in with, admin password 123. So when we change this password, we cannot log in with this particular password again. So this is the boss login details and the password, and this is the staff one that we've been logging in with. So if you see all these pages that are locked, these are the pages that the staff cannot have access to. Boss page comprises of where the boss can see the daily profits, the monthly profits, the total sales so far, and this is the main reason for this boss page. This boss page, you will see the cost price, which you will not see on other item page. So this item page also looks like this particular item. Let's click on this. This is the item page for your workers, but the only difference is that when you're on this page, you're not going to see this boss page here. When you can't see any boss item page, just know you are on the regular item page, and on the regular item page you are not meant to see the cost price. It has nothing to do with the cost price here. But when you're on the boss page, you can see the cost price, where you can input the cost price. So the only thing you can do here is to input the cost price here. The cost price is very necessary if you want to see your daily profits and your monthly profits, so that each time invoices are being written, it will be reflecting, but everything is hidden. You will not see where they are reflecting. All you know is that everything is working automatically behind the scene, and you'll be seeing your daily profits, your monthly profits, and everything, your total sales. So this page, the only difference from this page is that here, when you select any particular item, you can see the cost price, the selling price, the total cost, everything you need to see about the page on this place. But when you come to these normal items that everyone is making use of, when you select on this page, there's nothing like seeing the cost price and all that. You can only see the selling price and every other thing except the cost price. So on the retailers app, it is basically the same thing with the wholesalers app. So let's log in as a boss. It is basically the same thing with the wholesalers app, and every other thing is still intact. The first thing you have to do is to input your items and your product. So the only difference between this retailers app and the wholesalers app is that the wholesaler deals with cartons and the retailer deals with pieces or carton. They can open up a carton and sell in pieces. So here the only difference is that this will show you the total quantity that you have in pieces, and it will also show you the quantity that you have in cartons, because even if you are selling in pieces, most of your goods you are buying them in cartons, then you open up and start selling in pieces. But let's just say a particular item, you bought it in 5 cartons and you open it up and start selling in pieces. This will show you how many cartons that is remaining and the pieces that is remaining. So this is basically how it works. So let's quickly input some records so that I will show you one or two. First of all, remember we are starting with the new arrival invoice, and when we save and then select the items, we are going to input where these items came in. So let's say product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4. If you select here, it's empty. This is for the wholesaler. So this here, one total quantity. For the total quantity, you select the total quantity, that's the pieces quantity. If you're writing your invoice as a retailer, everything should be in pieces because we are selling in pieces. So let's say 3,000 pieces of this item came in. These 5,000 pieces of these items came in. Where did they come into? It was in the warehouse, in the office, this one in the office also, this in the warehouse one, and this one was in the warehouse two. And then you save the invoice. When you get to your items, you are going to notice that they've all reflected on the items page. This was on the office, this is warehouse one, warehouse two, and here you are going to see the carton quantity. This is showing us 700 cartons because we told the record that we have that each carton is 10, that is 10 pieces in each carton. This is 20 pieces in each carton. This is 10 pieces in each carton for this particular product. So it will automatically tell you we have 700 cartons remaining, 350 cartons remaining, and this year 300 cartons depending on the location. So for example, let's write an invoice, and let's write a sales invoice, and when you save and you go back to your items page, let's select this button here. The only difference between this and the one of the wholesalers is this extra buttons that I added in. So when you click on these buttons, it's going to show you just for a view of the carton quantity and the pieces quantity. So in the office we have 700 cartons. We've not opened this one. So the product two that we sold in the office, we have 349 cartons and 15 pieces remaining. Before it was 350 cartons and we sold 5 pieces, right? Yes, we sold 5 pieces of this product too. So now it's remaining 15 pieces. That's 349 cartons and 15 pieces. It is remaining 15 pieces because we have 20 pieces in carton and it was 350 cartons before. So now in the office we have 350 cartons and 15 pieces remaining. The same thing here. The next item that we sold was from warehouse two, and from warehouse two we sold 6 cartons of product four, and product four we said that product four is 20 in carton. So since we sold from warehouse two, it was 250 cartons. Now we have 249 cartons and 14 pieces remaining. It is 14 pieces remaining because 20 minus the 6 pieces we sold will be 14 pieces remaining. So this is just the overall view of the total items in the 3 different locations, the total quantity in the 3 different locations, and this will show us the quantity and the carton quantity and the pieces quantity in the 3 different locations. So all these buttons still works the same way as the Wholesalers app. So the only difference is while writing an invoice. If you are writing an invoice, you are going to input your pieces here, but for wholesalers invoice we are dealing with cartons. So that is the only difference between this retailers app and the wholesalers app. So every other thing still works the same. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask me in the comment section.
I forgot to add that if you want to copy your pre-order invoice or your pre-arrival invoice to the new arrival invoice, all you need to do is to click on that copy to, and when you select the new arrival, automatically the pre-arrival invoice will be copied to the new arrival invoice, and you'll be notified to remember to select where the items were supplied to. The same thing goes to copying pre-order invoice to sales invoice. It is going to copy it automatically to your sales invoice and you deduct where the items were sold from. So with this, there will be no need rewriting your pre-order invoice as a sales invoice. By clicking on copy, everything will copy automatically. Also, I forgot to remind you that each time you are writing a new invoice for a client that is still owing you, the old balance is going to reflect on the new invoice. With this, the total amount on the new invoice will sum up with the old balance from the old invoices. With this, the customer will see the total amount he or she is to pay. This is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. And if you want this kind of inventory management app for your business, let me know in the comment section and I can easily rebuild or recreate depending on your business color, your business name, or any other function that you would like the app to do for you. Also remember to subscribe so that you will not miss my next update. See you in my next video. Bye bye.